Welcome to Rainnail Studio. My name is Rebecca, and today we're doing another pedicure. I just want to welcome all of my new subscribers and thank you guys for all of the traffic on these videos. Today's video is in real time, so let's get right into it. This particular service is my maintenance pedicure, and I recommend this service for clients every 4 to 6 weeks just to keep their feet looking fresh and clean, and of course to make sure that they still look good. I am a meticulous manicurist student. I got my certification in 2021, and it has really helped my clientele grow, and of course has helped my service get better and better. When I went to nail school, they didn't really teach us effective methods for a pedicure, so that's why I went ahead and was trying to seek out continued education, and that's how I found Lori, which I'm super grateful for. So I'm just gonna walk you guys through this. Like I said, it is a real-time video. I don't have the finished product with the polish because the video is already over 30 minutes. So I'm gonna spare you guys that. You can also visit my Instagram page where you can see a lot of before and afters for my pedicures. It is BeccaB_. So make sure you give me a follow. And let me just get into the service. So on this client, she had a service recorded a couple of months ago, and her toenails were extremely short. She does have thick toenails on some of her toes, and of course, the cuticle tends to really grow out on her toenails. So every service that we have together, she does soak for quite a while. And then I always examine the foot to make sure I don't see anything that is abnormal. I can take a mental note of what they need as far as a callus treatment or deep cleaning on the toenails. So I always start with the callus treatment. I check the back of the foot and the side of the toe, of the big toe, and then if needed, I do apply callus remover. It's really important to know that when you're using callus remover, you are not applying it to live skin. You want to make sure that there is dead dry skin where you are applying the callus remover, because it can burn or damage the client's skin. So please keep that in mind when you are using products. So once I do that, I wrap the foot up just to keep the moisture there in order to get that skin to roll off, whether I used callus remover or not. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and apply cuticle softener to the toenails in order to get the skin pushed back and get that cuticle cleaned up, and of course to soften the toenails in order to clip them without injuring my client. Before I start clipping the toenails, I do run my tool underneath the toenail just to check and see how far I can clip the toenail without injuring my client or causing any discomfort. This is really important, especially when you have clients with thick toenails, because you just never know, and we don't want blood in our nail space. So be sure that you're taking the necessary precautions in order to give the client a safe and effective service. Once I clip the toenails, I do shape and file them, and then I will go over with a buffer just to get rid of any excess dead skin, and then we will get into the first part of the callus treatment. So once I'm done shaping the toenails, cleaning everything up before it needs to go back in the water, I do currently use these sanding foot files. I did have a serrated file, but I need to buy a new one. So these sanding files are working really well. I have two different grits. I have 100 and then the 180 coarse file. And with my hand file, I use the disposable pads. So I buy the little packs, and they come with the double-sided coarse file, and then I'll just take that off, clean my foot paddle, and then just apply a new set. It has been super convenient and just a little bit less expensive than my angel feet file. I do plan on getting one very soon, but for now that's what I'm using. So with the first pass of the foot file, I use the 100 side because it is more coarse and it will knock off a lot of that calloused skin. And then once she puts her foot back in the water, I will start working on the left foot. As I stated earlier, this video is in real time, so please just enjoy the process. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll be checking in just a few minutes. Now let's get into the second round of the deep clean and callus treatment. When the foot comes out of the foot bath for the second time, I go in with my foot file first. I am using the softer grit of the file just to roll off any more dead skin. And the reason why I do this first is because the foot is still very, very soft from being in the water. And I want to make sure that I get any excess skin from the callus treatment to come off before I go in with my exfoliant. Once this part is done, I will go ahead and start cleaning up any excess dead skin around the toenails for the last time. I highly recommend getting a coarse buffer to make sure you can get all of that skin off, because sometimes it doesn't come off with the cuticle pusher or the other tools that I have. The buffer will really help to move all of that skin out of the way, and then you'll be able to see what needs to be clipped. It's important to know that you do not always have to clip the cuticles when it comes to toenails, especially after the feet being in water for some time, because it is very easy to clip live skin after your foot has been in the water, and that can be really dangerous because you can create micro cuts or you can make your client bleed. So I make sure the only thing that I'm clipping when I'm working on the cuticles after doing a water soak is any skin that is lifted on the nail plate. It is rare that I have to trim the cuticle area because I am getting the most of it off with my buffer and my tools. But if you ever do have to clip the cuticle, just make sure that you know what you're doing. I do have a few clips in some of my other videos where I'm able to clip the cuticle area and get a nice clean look, but most of the time I don't even risk it because I do not want to make my client bleed and I don't want to create any micro cuts. So just make sure that your goal here is to get the client's feet nice and cleaned up. That way your polish is very clean and looking fresh. I just wanted to add in here that in my experience, I've learned that clients are really expecting like an overnight miracle when it comes to their feet, but I always let them know the same thing every time. It's gonna take time for their feet to start looking healthy again. Of course, they're gonna feel great after their first service, but the real key to healthy feet is the at-home care. So I always tell my client the same thing. Every single client, I give the same instructions. When I send them home, I always send them some links for some Amazon items that I recommend to use in between services. And then I tell them to up their water intake because water really does make a difference. If you're not drinking enough water, you will be able to tell by the condition of your feet. I let them know that they do need to wash and dry their feet every single day because you would be surprised how many people do not do that. They don't wash and dry their feet, so they have all of this excess buildup. They have toe jam. It's just, I guess, not common knowledge, but it does contribute greatly to the condition of their feet. And then, of course, I let them know to moisturize. So the one thing that I recommend for moisturizing is sweet almond oil. In my own opinion, my own experience, sweet almond oil will definitely make a difference when it comes to dryness of the feet. But it will only work if they are doing their at-home care. So if you're struggling with clients complaining that they don't see a difference, they don't feel a difference, just be confident and know that you are knowledgeable in this field of doing pedicures and that it's something that takes time. The feet have to regenerate their cells. They have to get all of that dead skin off. The client needs to be doing their part, especially if they're only seeing you once every month and a half to 2 months. It is ultimately up to them. So don't get discouraged if clients aren't coming back. We all know that it's not just up to the nail tech. The clients have to do their part as well. All right, we are getting towards the end of our service here. I am using a mint exfoliator, which my clients love. I've always used this one, and it just has a really fresh minty smell, and it does also help get rid of any excess dead skin in order to show me what needs to be clipped. Now, if you don't get all of the skin off or all of the dead cuticle or buildup off, once you take the foot out of the foot bath to rinse off the exfoliator, you can go in with your nippers and just clip away whatever is left behind. But the exfoliant really does help to get rid of majority of it. So that's what I do at my third and final step. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Make sure you guys subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and of course you can follow me on Instagram at BeccaB_. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, my name is Rebecca, and I hope to see you soon.